Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome for the first time. If this is your first time here, my name is Dr. Amanda Barrientes. I am the founder of NFA Coaching, and this is the place where you're going to find actionable strategies, tips and tools, and inspirational interviews to help you max your potential to thrive in your life and business. Today's tip is going to be something that you're definitely going to want to write down. It's simple. Every week I work to come up with strategies that will help you grow and shift the quickest. They're research-based. It's based on stuff I'm reading and stuff I'm testing out on myself, stuff I'm testing with my clients. So this one comes from a place of thinking about being solutions-oriented. Have you ever noticed in your life or business, relationships, money world, anywhere, that you think that you have a problem? We tend to hyper focus on the problem. So what happens is we analyze. We go into this hyper analytic mode where we constantly focus on the problem. We go, this is why it's not, this is why it's broken. This is what's not working. What's the root of the problem? And we can spend sometimes years thinking about what the problem is. In a lot of ways, this is the therapy model where you go and you talk about the problem, you work to get to the root of the problem, you even think about where did this come from in my childhood. And while there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, there is a place for therapy. I like to be solutions oriented. So sometimes I need just enough information from people to know about their past to think about how to change their current behavior so they can get different results in the future. But today, I want to give you a very quick shift out of a problem mindset into a solution-based mindset. And here's what I want you to do. So get out your pen and paper if you're in a place you can do that. If you're listening on the podcast, obviously that won't work, but you can always come back and listen again. Write it down as you go. This is what I want you to try. I want you to get out 3 different pieces of paper. On the first piece of paper, I want you to write all of the things you're worried about, you're thinking about, you're focused on as the problem. So let's use an example of money. I don't have enough money. Let's say that's your problem and you go, oh crap, I don't have enough money. I'm freaking out that I don't have enough money. I need to come up with a certain number of dollars in a certain amount of time because that's what my life needs to flow smoothly, and I want to start on the savings and investment path toward wealth building. Okay, so the problem, I want you to write down every single problem you can think of. I want you to think of all of the places where you've done in the past that haven't worked, and on this one first sheet of paper. So you can write across the top something like problem, what I'm focusing on that's not working, what's not working. Write everything down. Like, could be things like spending too much on shopping or spending too much on fantasy football league. I don't know if that costs money. I think it does. Or spending money on things that aren't important or in my highest values, too many bills, whatever you can think of down. Every single thing. It's like a brain dump. And this helps you get your problems out on paper, because what happens is this takes up mental space at all points in time and limits you in your potency of taking action in a new direction. So write it down, write it down, write it down. Then I want you to take that piece of paper, crumble it up, throw it away. Throw it in the trash. Okay, so we're not going to focus on that anymore. You've got it out of your system now. You've done this brain dump and you're going to throw it away. Next piece of paper, I want you to start to write down all of the ways you can think of solutions. Solutions. Instead of being focused on the problem and knowing that what we focus on expands, you're going to now start to focus on the solutions to help that expand. And let's think of everything in your life that has worked. So in the money world, let's say that as a kid you were able to save up $50 to go to the amusement park, and you did it by mowing the grass. Write that down. Write down everything you can think of, past to present, through every era of your life that has worked in terms of saving money to get where you want to go. I want you to write down every single thing you can think of, okay? And on this piece of paper, you're going to start to highlight and notice trends. You're going to think probably you're going to notice how you're able to save money when it's related to a short, quick fix, something that you're able to do in a couple months, couple days, like a vacation. You go, oh, we're going to go on vacation in 6 months. We got to save $5,000 because we want it to be super fun. Most people are able to pull that off. But because we're short-term thinkers and we tend to focus on the present gratification instead of the long-term pleasure that we get from short-term, sometimes pain of doing things we don't necessarily want to do in the moment, we are able to do that quickly because it's instant gratification, or seemingly instant in terms of a couple months instead of the lifelong idea of retirement, just because we're using money as the example. You can do this with anything across your life or business. Okay, so then you're going to write down all the solutions, and I want you to start to think of the patterns, and I want you out of that list on the third piece of paper, I want you to write down 3 things you're committed to. 3 things, only 3, that you're committed to doing this week. So across the top of this paper, I want you to write commitments this week for actions I will take to save, invest more money, whatever whatever the blank is for you. It could be to lose weight. It could be to make more sales. It could be to exercise more or go on more dates, be more connected with your partner, be a better parent, anything, right? So you're doing this strategy across the board. And on the third one, you're writing 3 things you're committed to, and it's specific actions you're going to take. It's not some vague, like, oh, by 2050, I want to have $1 million in the bank. No, specific. This week, you're committed to what? $50 in the bank, that you will auto debit on this date. You will set it up by a certain date. I want you to be very, very, very specific about how you're going to take action this week. 3 commitments only for the week. And then you're going to take that piece of paper and you're going to either scan it and make copies of it. You're going to put it into your car. You're going to put it on your desk. You're going to put it everywhere you can think of that you're seeing it all week. And you are taking action and you are making it happen because you're focused on the solution instead of the problem. So this is a really simple strategy, and it's an even easier variation than on my overcoming worry formula that I talked about, which is 5 steps. This is a variation, and it's a little different. It's not necessarily about overcoming worry. It's about getting into action in some area where you've been stuck. So it's a strategy for solution-oriented action in any direction you want to go. I promise you, if you do this, it will work. You will start to see massive shifts in your life and business. So you can do this for anything, right? So you can have 3 sheets. You can go through this process with money, with relationships, and with business. And then you can have 3 sheets posted and go, okay, this week, the 3 actions I'm going to take in my money world are this. I'm committed to taking action in these 3 because I've distilled it down after these 3 pieces of paper and I've gotten here. You can do it with your relationships. Maybe you've been struggling in your relationships and you've been hyper-focusing on the problems. So on that first sheet, you're writing down all the problems you're like, we don't talk a lot. We don't have sex, we're not happy, we're frustrated, we're angry. You take that, you throw it away in the trash after you write it down, after you brain dump. Then on the second sheet, you write down all the solutions. Okay, we can go to a coach, we can start reading books, we can go on walks. What has worked in the past that makes you feel connected and inspired in your relationship? Write down everything, because I promise you wouldn't be with the person if you didn't have things from the past that had worked. So write down everything that's worked and think about it as a solution and map for your future. So what has worked? Focus on that. Okay, so maybe it was walks, maybe it was dates, maybe it was getting a babysitter, maybe you're in the dating land and it was that you went to the movies. I don't know what it is for you, but write everything down that's worked, that's made you feel connected in your relationship. Then on the third piece of paper, you're going to say what you're committed to doing that's based on the things that have worked in the past. You're going to write down just 3 commitments for that week, and you're going to take action on them every day. See how it works? If you have questions, email me, of course, and spend this week getting inspired to do whatever it takes to transform into the most empowered version of yourself so you can thrive in your life and business. I'll be back next week with another Max Potential Habits